Welcome back to Learn Chinese with Rushan, and this is Rushan. Today I'm going to use the whiteboard to talk about the character da. And altogether we are going to cover 40 verb vocabulary with da. So da, it's really the second most useful verbs, I think, after 做, which means to make and to do. That is a little bit more diversified, but that it's also a very diversified and versatile verbs. It takes, if you can see, it takes a lot of objects and it combines with a lot of characters to make vocabularies. So today we're going to look at them. So I kind of grouped them into two categories. The first one is da plus a verb. So it means that in this compound vocabulary, the second character is a verb. For example, 第一个打扫 扫 it's actually a verb by itself. It means to sweep the floor, to sweep. So 打扫 together, this word, it means a little bit more general. It means to clean up the things. Then, in most of the words of the day, it belongs to da plus a noun. So in this compound words, the second character or the second group, it's actually a noun. For example, 第九个打电话 to call somebody. So 电话, if you see this, it means phone, the phone you're using to call somebody. So 打 what? 打电话. So if you see these two columns, they are more in the textbook. So they are in HSK 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6. But if you see this two, this part, it's what I call it very useful verbs for everyday life. So even though they're not in the HSK 3 book, but they're very useful for daily life speaking. So we will see words like to yawn, to snore, to snap, to thunder, to play cards, to check, to play a class, this kind of very daily life verb. So let's get started. So I have explained the first one, 打扫 to clean up, 打扫房间 to clean up your room. 第二个打印 ink as a verb already means also to print, like ink, printing. So 打印 also it means to print. And 第三个打扮 扮 this character, its verb means to add something or disguise as. So 打扮 together as a word, it means to dress up. 打扮得漂漂亮亮 to dress up very beautifully. 打扮得漂漂亮亮。第四个打扰 扰 also means to disturb. So 打扰 HSK4. Sometimes when you say excuse me, so we say 不好意思打扰一下 I'm sorry, excuse me, 不好意思打扰一下 So that's from 打扰 to disturb you for a little bit 打扰一下第五个打包 to pack, to put your leftovers in the dodgy bag 我还没打包完 I haven't finished packing. And also in the restaurant you say 帮我打包一下 So please help me to wrap it up, to put these leftovers in the bag, in the dodgy bag. The dodgy bag is also called 打包袋 袋 means bag. 第六个打劫 to rob. 打劫银行 to rob the bank. 打劫银行。第七个打猎 means to hunt, and it's a HSK 6 word. So anyone here likes 打猎？第八个打坐 now we know 坐 means to sit down, to sit. So 打坐 together, it means to sit in meditation. So 打坐让我很放松. The meditation let me relax. 打坐让我很放松. So that's all for the 打 plus a verb compound. And let's move on to the 打 plus noun compound. 第9个打电话 to call somebody, to give somebody a call. So we either say 给 somebody 打电话 or we say 打电话给 somebody. So 给妈妈打电话 is the same as 打电话给妈妈. 第10个打折 as we said before, 20% off. In Chinese it's called 打八折. We put the numbers inside. 打八折 and it's straightforward. 第11个打招呼 to say hi or to greet somebody. 来跟我的朋友打一下招呼 like to come to greet some of my friends. 和我的朋友打一下招呼. 第12个打针 to give injections. 打针小孩子很怕打针. The little kids, they are very afraid of getting injections. 小孩子很怕打针. 我每次打针都会哭. I will cry every time when I get an injection. 打针. 13. 打喷嚏 achoo. Sneeze, to sneeze. In Chinese, if somebody was sneezing a lot, like cannot stop, it means that we will say it means that somebody is thinking about them. So 打喷嚏 achoo, to sneeze. 第14个打工 a very useful word, and it's also in HSK 5. So it means to work a temporary work, like in the summer holiday, or you are doing some part-time job. For example, 我暑假打了3份工. I have 3 jobs in summer holiday. 我暑假打了3份工. 15. 打仗 it means to fight a battle. 打仗他去打仗了. He went to the front to serve his country. Other than just saying 打仗, we also have a word that is 打雪仗. It means to have a snowball fight. 雪 snow. 打雪仗 to have a snowball fight. This is, I guess, in the north people they do a lot. I'm from south, so. 第16个打架 to fight, to like have a real fight. 喝酒後打架 fight after drinking. 喝酒後打架. 17打車 it has 2 meanings kind of. So it means you take a taxi, right? It also means you hail a taxi. So you could say, for example, 我打车来的 我是打车来的 I came by taxi. And if you're on the road, you say 我想打车 I want to get a taxi. 打的 it's also another way, more specifically, 的士 is taxi. So 打的 means to get a taxi or to take a taxi. Until now, we have already finished these 2 columns. Now, let's move on to the use of verbs for daily life. These are very good verbs. It happens a lot in our daily life. So, for example, 第18个打勾 means to check. 19打叉 means you draw a cross. 第20打问号. All of this in this box, it means to draw something down on a paper. So 对的打勾，错的打叉。如果你有问题的话，打一个问号。So 打问号 means to draw a question mark. So 对的打勾 if it's correct, you put a check. 错的 打岔 if it's not correct, if it's wrong, put a cross. If you have questions, 如果你有问题的话，打一个问号 put a question mark. And we also have another word that's 打分. 分 means marks. So 打分 it means like a teacher gives you a mark or other people gives you mark. 老师给我打了90分. The teacher gave me 90 marks. We are moving on to 21. 21. 打结打结结 is the noun for knot. So 打结打结 is to tie a knot. It's the same sound as 打结 here, means to rub, but the different characters. So 打结 rub for rub character. 打结 again, but it means to tie a knot. We have the 结 character for knot. And 22, 22. 打领带 very similarly, it means to tie your tie, to put your tie on. 打领带领带 means this tie. 打领带 Continue on to here, 23. And this box, it's about this kind of like body reactions you have. 打哈欠 to yawn. 打哈欠太累了打哈欠啊一直在打哈欠 I have this yawning like non-stop 一直在打哈欠24打呼噜 to snore 睡觉打呼噜睡觉打呼噜25打瞌睡打瞌睡 to nod off 上课的时候打瞌睡上课的时候打瞌睡 I nod off when I have lessons 上课时打瞌睡26打嗝打嗝 to hiccup to have hiccup in Chinese if somebody like non-stop having hiccups like non-stoply in Chinese we think that a frighten will make him stop the hiccup so 打嗝 to hiccup Then let's move on to some sports and activities. 第27个打球打球 really it means to play all kinds of sports like and all kinds of sports that you have to play with your hand. So 打篮球 basketball 打网球 play tennis 打排球 volleyball 乒乓球打乒乓球So all these balls that you play with your hand, you use 打 because 打 have this hand radical, right? And for soccer, this kind of you kick, and we use another verb, okay? So 打球28打太极 what does it sound like? 打太极 so to do 太极 and 打功夫 to do 功夫 so this kind of thing we use 打哈29打牌 now these two are together 打牌 means to play cards right and 打麻将30打麻将 what does it sound like 打麻将 to play 麻将 so play cards play 麻将打牌打麻将31打鼓32打拍子 so these two they are the same 打鼓 means the the drum so 打鼓 means you play drums you beat the drum 打鼓他是打鼓的he's the drummer 32打拍子 means you 1 2 3 4打拍子 means to beat the time 2 3 4打拍子 So that's about sports, a little bit of activities, hobbies maybe. And we're moving on to some, I kind of don't know how to categorize them. So 33, 33, 打蛋打蛋 means egg. So 打蛋 means you beat the egg. 打蛋器 the egg beater, the whisker, 打蛋器打蛋器 let me put a 打蛋器 here. So 34打雷 打雷 to thunder. 外面在打雷 outside it's having thunders around. So 外面在打雷，打雷。35打赌，打赌。Now this is a very useful verb for you to say in daily life. I bet he doesn't remember. To bet 打赌，我打赌他一定不会记得。I bet he will not remember. 36打响指 means you snap your finger. 响 means loud. The voice is so loud. 指 is your finger. This is how in Chinese we say to do, to put a loud finger. Okay, snap your finger. 打响指. Also, one thing is that sometimes it's not necessary a polite thing to do to snap your finger. Okay, so 37打手势，打手势，手势 means gesture. So 打手势 means you make some gesture. 打手势。38打一巴掌，打一巴掌 to slap somebody's face. One slap 一巴掌。I slapped him twice. 我打了他2巴掌。我打了他2巴掌。I give him 2 slaps. 39打人，打人 in general just like hitting somebody, hitting people. 打人 to get in a fight with people. And 40, where is our 40? In 40, I want to talk about a word that is called 打卡。打卡。打卡 it means to clock in and clock out, to clock in and out. This is a thing in China. I think in most of the companies that I know, we have to do this 打卡. When this society is getting more internet, you don't have to arrive to the office. As long as you're in the Wi-Fi, if you are within the distance, the radius of the Wi-Fi, then it's already automatically clock you in. And also why I put it into the last word, it's because 打卡 also it's very it's a very popular word now because it also means to checking in a new place. Like in a lot of social, like Facebook, I think they do it. So when you checking in for a place, it means that you have been to this place. So I check it. 打卡, our last one. Until now, we have finished all of our 40 verbs vocabulary with 打. I hope you're having fun with this whiteboard lesson, vocabulary lesson, and I will see you next time. 再见.